In this lesson, we will see how we can set up WinAutomation with Microsoft Power Automate. WinAutomation is an official Power Automate plugin, and it's an RPA tool. That means that we can do all sorts of UI operations, clicking around in applications, browsers, scraping data, and all that. Let's see how it's done. First, we will download. So click Download. Then you will scroll a little bit down and click Download WinAutomation. That's it. We can see that our download started here. While we do that, we need to purchase the plugin. It's quite cheap, so click Purchase. The pricing. We will need to have the per user plan with attended RPA here. So we'll click Buy Now. It's $40 a month. That's very cheap compared to other RPA tools. And click Just Me if you are just you. It will take you to this side, and you can see that I already signed in, so I'll just click Continue because yeah, that's me. And now the price will come up in my local currency, so that's $40 in Danish kroners. That is probably around this plus taxes. That's fine. Then I click Place Order. They are processing my order, and that's it. Now we can click the installation file here. We will run it. We'll just take the default settings. We can see here that the license type, select the type of license you wish to use. We have now purchased a Microsoft Power Automate license. So this is the license that we want to use. And we can have some browser extensions. Well, I like all because we want to automate in all sorts of browsers as our process description dictates. So let's just click Next, and we'll start installing. That's it. You can see up here that we can enable the extension. One we will have to do whenever we open all the browsers, but let's just do it here in Chrome. So we'll enable it. And that's it. So now we have enabled Soft-Emotive Automation, that is WinAutomation. And we can also see that we have opened up Firefox. So we'll click Add here. Okay, got it. That's it. We can close it down. And we have Edge here as well. So now we have our extensions in all the browsers. That's fine. So what we can do now is that we can go to WinAutomation and we can click Finish. Now we can go to our Microsoft Office Home. Then we can click Admin. Like this. Then we click Users. We click Active Users. And you can see your user here in your admin center. Mine is this one. So what I do here is that I click the three dots and then Manage Product Licenses. Then I can find my Power Automate with attended RPA over here. So I'll take this one and then I'll click Save Changes. Now we just need to make sure we have an environment and a database to run at. So go to Microsoft Office Home, click All Apps here, and choose the Power Apps. Up on the little wheel here, click that and click Admin Center. You will be taken to the environment page. So there should be an environment here, otherwise create a new one and click it because you need to make sure you have a database on it. So if it says database version something, you have the database, otherwise create it. We can now create a UI flow with WinAutomation. So go to your Start menu, search for WinAutomation Console and open it. Like this. And you can see there's already some sample workflows here that you can work with. But let's try to create our own, then we can work with these at a later time. So under My Processes, you can see the folder structure here. I created a folder called Anders. There's nothing in it, so let's create a process. We click the new process. We could call it something like our first WinAutomation flow. And we'll choose the process designer. This one will design it from the button. We could also choose a recorder that will record our steps. However, I think it's very nice to understand the basic process around designing a workflow. So we'll do so. Today we will create a simple workflow that will open up our calculator and do a simple summarization. To do so, we have our canvas here. That is the main. We can drag in some actions from outside here. We can see here, if we expand this system, we can run an application, and that is exactly what we want to do. To do so, we can just drag it in here, and we can see that we have some properties to fill in. We don't need much, we just need the application path. We can either fill in the entire application path, either typing it in, set it as a variable, or click this browse. However, the easiest thing to do when working with basic applications is to know their nicknames. This one is calc, this one will open calculator. So we can click OK here, and we created our first workflow. To run it, we can click Start here. This one will run the application, and we can see that our calculator opened up nice and smooth right here. Now we need to do the calculation, so we need to press some buttons. And if you wonder why we use a simple program like calculator, that is because it's a fine example and it will work exact the same way as more complex applications. We will press buttons and we'll show you how that is done. So down here in the controls repository, we need to add some controls. So click Add Control, like this. And now you can see on our mouse it says press left control and left click to select the control. And we can see here when we hover the mouse over these things, WinAutomation will recognize that there is a button. So let's say that we want to calculate 9 plus something. We simply just hover our mouse over this button, press left control, left click, and we have added that control. To click that control, then we just need to find a click element. We could either search for it, or we could expand the UI windows and find the click element in window. So drag it in. Here we can see that we need to add a control, and that is exactly why we created this 9 button. So select the control from the repository and choose the button 9. Then click Add and click OK. So now our workflow will run the application and it will click the number 9. We can try it again. So click play, open up, and it presses the 9. So far so good. So now it's just repetitive work, so we can add another control. That one will be the plus. So control left and left click, like this. We can add the button plus, and we will drag in a click element again. Select the control from the repository, that will be the plus. So now we have a 9 plus. Then we just need to find what we need to add to 9. So we can add another control. Let's just take 4, like this. We will drag it in. Select the control from the repository, that is 4. Okay, now we need an equal sign, so add control again. I think you get the point now. Now we get the equals. So the click element here. Select the control from the repository, that is equals, like this. So now we created a flow that will open up the calculator and do a simple summarization. This one can work in all our applications, so it's pretty smart. And you'll see here, we get 13. Now we need to integrate it with Power Automate. And to do so, let me close down this. We can save our first automation workflow, we can close it down, and you'll see that it is right here. So we need to call that process from Power Automate to make it run. To do so, we go back to our browser, we go to Power Automate, and then we'll click Create. We will click the UI flow over here, choose the desktop app, click Next. We can add a name. This one could just be called Calculator. Then we will click Next. We don't need any inputs, so let's just bin that, delete that, sure. The important part, that is the record and edit steps, and we need to click New Step here. Choose the WinAutomation here and run WinAutomation. Now we need to enter the path to our process. And the path is simply just the My Processes honors our first WinAutomation flow. If we can't just remember it, we will just do it here. So to do so, we'll just take a / my processes. Let me make sure I spelled it right. Sure. Anders. And then we should probably have chosen a more simple name, but WinAutomation flow, like this. So now we have specified what flow we want to run. We could add some other advanced options. However, we just click save, like this. It will save, and we just click next. There's no outputs we have defined, so we just click next again, and we're ready to test it. So test the workflow, click test. Make sure you don't touch nothing, because now our flow will run. Like this. Isn't that smart? We can find it here. If you want to learn more about WinAutomation, I created this playlist for you that will help you build your own flows in WinAutomation from scratch. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get all the new videos about Power Automate and WinAutomation.